and son team, Rick and Dick Hoyt. Duncan has been inspired what the Hoyts have done and the message they share, and that is, yes you can. Just recently, Duncan and I were able to go to Boston and meet the Hoyts and hear more of their inspirational story. This has been a dream of Duncan's, but we would have never known about this dream without Duncan's assistive communication device. Before Duncan received a communication device, we would have to interpret sounds and visual cues, a visual yes and no. This led to a lot of guesswork, not always the right guess. Duncan's challenge to communicate would often leave him and us frustrated. When Duncan first got his assistive communication device, it was difficult. Duncan had to learn a whole new way to communicate, just like a baby with his first words. Duncan used one-word responses at first: drink, tired, etc. It was an improvement. Even the simplest words hold incredible power. From that point on, Duncan hasn't stopped and has mastered his device. I have been doing a lot of the talking, Duncan. Would you like to say in your own words anything? Go ahead.
I can answer the teachers also. I can ask for drinks. It did help God Robert much because I did write a story. I can do all this without communication device.
Duncan mentioned meeting Robert Munsch. Duncan was inspired by the story Robert Munsch wrote called Zoom, about a girl who souped up her wheelchair. Once Duncan got his voice, he was unstoppable, and he thought he could do anything. He wrote his own story about a boy in a wheelchair and his voice and where he got in trouble with the law. Duncan then sent his story to Robert Munsch, who was moved so much that he came to Duncan's school to meet with him and see how Duncan communicated and was able to write his story. This is one of the many things Duncan has been able to do, achieve on his, once he had his voice. Duncan has been on the news and in the papers, but I think the more important stuff is the everyday things like going to school and how Duncan's personality has come alive. Duncan is funny and smart. He can be sad, angry, or even nervous, like today. It's not just the words we say, but how we say them. I would like to leave you with a thought. Imagine, if you will, that you have an itch, and you have no way to scratch it, and you couldn't communicate to anyone to scratch it for you. That would drive you crazy. Thank you for having Duncan and I here to share our story with you.